Your neighbor tells you about the unstable man in the cul-de-sac who claims to have been abducted by aliens. And then there's the woman in town who claims to see Bigfoot all the time. Your boss, who you greatly admire, confides in you that he has started speaking with his wife daily when he gets home from work. She died 8 years ago. It's hard to believe this stuff, and you write these stories off as overactive imaginations. Are these people seeking attention, or are they a bit unstable? No matter what you think, if you're like me, you walk away wondering, what if that was true? The What If It's True podcast features stories by ordinary people like you and me. Something has happened to them, something so strange they are in agony unless they tell others. My name is Cameron Buckner, and the What If It's True podcast is available at whatifitstruepodcast.com and on all available podcast apps.
We're live, Mark.
Good grief. I don't know where the time went. Bama sent me a text and he said, man, I just love your thumbnails. And I looked at the clock on my phone and I thought, man, we're going live in 8 minutes. I don't know where the time went.
It went somewhere. You might have got lost in one of them zap situations. It's
Lost time.
Well, tonight we're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly from Bigfoot conferences. You know why we're doing that?
Probably because I went to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference and Gatlinburg.
And I didn't.
And you didn't. And what did you tell my dad?
I told your dad that I don't like conferences. I like going to campfires and out in the woods camping. I could care less about a conference. I like to meet the people, but I'd soon meet the people at a meet and greet at a campfire than I had at a conference.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. I mean, I've been that way all my life, even because I love to hunt. I love to fish. I went to Bass Pro one time whenever they were having their big fishing extravaganza. And I sat in on some of the fishing experts telling everybody how to fish.
Yeah.
Well, I pretty much knew how to fish. Now, I wasn't as good at it as they are, but I don't have a $80,000 bass boat with a big TV screen on the end of it showing me where all the fish are at, where I can see my lure go down in front of them, you know? And the deer hunting, you know, they can tell you how to kill a big buck, but they don't tell you if they spent $15,000 to go to a ranch where they got big bucks everywhere.
Yeah, fenced
and it ain't
in.
real hard to kill one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've just not been enthralled with conferences.
Yeah, but we have had fun at conferences.
Did we have fun at the conference, or did we have fun camping and then going to the conference?
Yeah. But I do have fun talking to people at the conferences.
That would be my only good part about it, I think. And it ain't nothing against the people that speak at them, the people that put them together. They're good for a lot of people. They're just not my cup of tea. That's all. I don't like going to Walmart. So.
But you go.
Yeah. Only when I have to.
Yeah.
And that new pickup thing's great where you just order it and they bring it out to you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Did we just do a commercial for Walmart? My bad. I didn't mean to do that.
Well, that's where I normally park at those little reserve parking spots. Why should I go all the way down to where the gas pumps are?
So you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
Well, let's get into what you did this weekend as far as we can.
Okay.
Emma's got a good question here to start it off. Did Mark have groupies? Any coconut oil? The answer to that, Bama, is he had coconut oil, but there was no groupies.
I have never bought coconut oil. I have you to know. But yeah, it was a great time. The way they had it set up, you had to get a wristband and you sit in a line, 100 yards deep for them to scan your ticket and give you a wristband. And then you had to go to another line, which was, it was a sold out conference with 2,000 people in attendance.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this line going all the way down the hill, and it looks like it goes around the corner with folks. And I thought, you know what? Maybe someone will notice me if I walk adjacent to the line, instead of getting over where the sidewalk was. And and sure enough, our friend on here, Katie G. I'm just walking. Of course, I know usernames, but I don't really get on Facebook. I don't know faces. And Katie G hollered at me as I was walking by, and her husband and Lynn Wood and his wife were standing in line. And so I just stopped and kind of stood next to them, and then when the line started moving, man, I was in there quick.
Yeah.
So that I appreciate you, Katie G and Lynn Wood, for hollering at me, because it probably would have taken 30 minutes longer to get in there.
Yeah.
But
so your line cutter and your head swelled up too.
I'm a rock star, Larry Porch. You ain't figured that out yet?
I didn't know. I missed the memo. Oh, man. So once you got in there, what was going on?
Well, really, the first thing I wanted to do was find my buddy Cam Buckner. He had a booth set up.
He's the guy that was eating with his people, right?
Yeah.
His people.
His people.
And I always thought we were his people.
But so what I before I saw Cam, I ran into Kerry Arnold, and I said, where's Cam at? And he said, he's over there at that, go through that door over there. So I went through the other door so I could come around. I wanted to sneak up on him. And and so I found him, and I there was like a poster board that was up that I guess it was the booth right beside of him, and I walked up to that poster board, and said, kind of, Mr. Buckner, can I have your autograph? And he didn't hear me. But the girl that was buying stuff, here I was cutting in line again, because he had a long line of people waiting to come up there to meet him and talk to him and buy things from him. And I guess she heard me say that. And neither Cam or his wife April heard me say that. And so I said it again. And that lady that was there, that was buying things, she picked up a box and of something that I don't know what it was he was selling that was in that box. And she handed that box to April, and she said, would Cam sign this for me? And so when I said it the second time, he heard me. And of course, he knows our voices. And he just looked up and gave me this funny look.
Yeah.
But it was good to see Cam there in a booth, because he has so many people that just enjoy his podcast. And that was the commercial that we played, that we're playing at the beginning of our podcast. And because we think so much of him as a person, now, if you want to know who a rock star is, it's Cam Buckner. And we knew him before he was a rock star.
Yeah. We knew him whenever he's eating double cheeseburgers from the specialty menu at Burger King.
With Betsy.
Oh, man. He is a good dude, though. And I don't think none of the successes went to his head at all, except other than eating with his people, Yeah, I asked Mark on the way up there if he was going to see Cam, and he said, well, he texted me, but he said he's eating with his people. I don't really know what that means. And I said, well, it's either all the folks that are coming to see him or his family, one or the other. I don't know which.
Yeah.
But he is a good guy, no doubt about it. So where did you and him go eat?
We never actually made it out to eat. When I was with Carrie most of the time, and it was really good to see Carrie, but it was really, really good to see Linda again, and to see Hunter again, and I got to meet Linda's mom, and that was really special to meet Linda's mom. I think so much of that family, and so that was great. And of course, Carrie had a little entourage.
You mean Carrie had some groupies too?
Yeah, I'm the only one there without no groupies.
Man. Well, I wish you'd work on it.
Yeah, but I got to meet Katie G, Lynn Wood, and their spouses. I got to meet Frankie. She's coming on the new 168, and I was walking in the lobby, and all of a sudden I saw a lady's head just whip and look at me. And she
introduced you to your kid after 20 years.
It was Cheese Freak. And of course, it's like what I said. You don't know. I don't know faces, but she introduced herself, and I guess right now I can show some stuff. I did have people that I knew before and met there that one person gave me this Sasquatch.
Wait a second. Let me blow you up. All right.
Like the Sasquatch field guide.
They probably felt like you needed it.
And man, this thing opens up. Is from Dr. Meldrum. It's got all kind of great stuff like hair samples and stacked rocks and cultured signs and diet and feeding and communication. I mean, Larry, it's even got a thing on casting tracks, which we needed last Halloween.
Yeah, and I had it sitting right here and didn't look at it. How about that?
Yeah.
Or maybe Debbie's got it. I don't remember.
Let's see. Kerry Arnold, he gave me this hat.
That's a good man.
Yeah. And he also gave me this T-shirt.
Yeah.
168s.
Cool. Yep.
So really cool. Let's see. I got this T-shirt from Cam, Dixie Cryptid.
Nice.
So I like that. I'll be wearing that.
Well, folks, I gotta go off the air now. I didn't get nothing.
I don't even remember this stuff being put in there. I've got a pen that says Dixie Cryptid. I don't know. Maybe April put it in the bag and gave it to me. I don't remember. I got a little sticker, Dixie Cryptid, and I got another sticker with Dixie Cryptid, and I don't even remember getting that.
Well, kleptos, they have a tendency not to remember what they think. Cam's doing his inventory right now saying, April, where are these stickers at? And I'm missing a pen and a couple of t-shirts.
All you need's a bag, and when they're not looking. And this is really cool. This was given to me, and this is something that we will use. And after the podcast tonight, I've got a fire starter bag that I keep in my kit, where I've got the ferro rod and all of that put together, and lighters and cotton balls with Vaseline on them and different stuff. But I got 2 of these.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Have you? And I forget how many fires each one will start, but it's wild. It's something like with each one you can start something like 5,000 fires.
Yeah. On their commercial, they cut out a hole in the ice on a lake and they put that in the water. And bring it out of the water on the ice and light it, and it burns.
But
now, who knows what they do. But
I want to thank everybody that thought of me and gave me something.
Bob, that's a good question here. What did you think of me to bring me?
A hard time.
Well, I'm used to that.
No,
Even
really didn't do any buying. I enjoyed walking around and talking to the vendors that were there. I think it's important that that we support people that make T-shirts and write books and make things. I've probably a lot of people are like me, and they got a lot of Bigfoot stuff in in their house, and so that was really cool. But probably I had a lot of people that I had never laid eyes on before, come up to me and talk to me. And I'm going to tell you, one man came up to me and he saw me and he called me by name. And so I was sitting in the auditorium, and he said, could I shake your hand? And I told him, sure. And he told me who he was, and he said, I just want to tell you how much I enjoy y'all shows and look forward to it. And I don't know if I can get through this, Larry.
well, I got it zoomed in on you.
Well, I'm not even going to look at the camera. But he told me that recently that his son passed away. And he said, I think he said something like, just a few weeks ago, which would have been just like maybe 5 or 6 weeks after his son passed away, his wife passed away.
Oh.
But he was so happy to see me and meet me and talk to me, and he got a picture with me, and Larry, every time I think about maybe backing away from doing these podcasts, we have somebody talk to us or email us or PM us and talk about, the value that we bring to their lives and the enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what kind of it is what keeps me going on this, because, I wouldn't mind backing away from the podcast. And, we're doing 2 a week, and we get asked to come on other podcasts. And I think it was it last week, or I'm not sure, but I wound it up being on 4 or 5 podcasts during the week.
Yeah.
And but it's talking with real people like that I guess just keeps me going.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, we're just regular people. We don't think we're anybody. We know we're no experts in this field. We're just people that go out and enjoy a good time with good people. And it is nice to meet people that we indirectly are involved with and don't even know it. That maybe we gave them a little laugh during the day or whatever, whenever they're in a bad situation, a bad light during their life. And that's more important to me than, I don't know, getting 50,000 hits on a video. I'd rather stay humble and and reachable to people than just, I don't know, let some of this go to your head like some folks do. But I mean, life is not easy for anybody, and at times it's very difficult for some. And I really can't imagine what that man endured in that short amount of time to lose his son and his wife like that. So prayers definitely go out to him, and hopefully we can keep a little sanity to some people's lives with our insanity sometimes.
Tell your producer to get that camera off me.
No, I can hide back here whenever the camera's on you. Oh, me. But yeah, that's the good thing about the Bigfoot community. The base people in this are salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
You get a few bad eggs in there, but for the most part, that's it. Everybody is kind normally, and they're looking for the truth, which we are. And I mean, most people are willing to work with you. There's a few that want to step on you and work against you.
Yeah.
And how they remain in this community, I don't know, but that's about as bad as this community gets, is those people that want to become somebody or do whatever to other people to get somewhere. And those ain't our people for sure. Our people are just good old folks that are looking for the truth and no BS pretty much, because we don't have time for that stuff. I mean, it's like the other day at work, I'm leaning on this guy. We always go out.
Hey, let me interrupt you. Get your producer to blow you up.
No. Anyway, the other day at work, we always bunch out there at the parking lot in front of some of the trucks so we can get our jobs to go out for the day. And I was leaning on this one guy's truck, and he's always ready to go whenever he gets his stuff. And he honked the horn. And them other dudes like, ooh, you going to let him honk the horn at you like that? And blah, blah. And I looked at him and said, dude, that might have worked in high school, but I'm way past high school. I'm not into that goating, gouging, and drama crap no more. I don't have time for it. I just like getting through a regular, normal day and have a little fun and enjoy myself. And I'm not here to make nobody mad, and I'm not here to be made mad by anybody.
Yeah.
And why people go through life picking out one little bitty thing to egg on and keep on and all that. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on this tangent. Let's go back to the conference.
Okay.
All right. So you and Carrie hung out and he fed you a steak dinner?
We ate. Yep.
Well, I knew you were going to eat. I ain't ever seen you not eat.
Well, you know, let me say this is we had what I consider the scum of the earth making accusation against you and Debbie.
Oh, yeah.
And that was only made out of jealousy and envy because of Debbie's success, her endeavors in the field, and evidence that she had collected. Now, this piece of garbage that said that Debbie hoaxed some gibberish and he called me on the phone, and I debunked it right then, right there with him on the phone by saying that when Debbie captured this audio, that was 2 weeks before we had ever met Debbie or any other of the Sisters of the Moon except for one lady. And so, but this person went for 6 months whispering in people's ears outside his loop and to try to get people on board to attack Debbie. But you know what? The truth stands out. And one person that helped us with that truth was Ron Moorhead. And Ron had a booth there at the conference. He was one of the speakers, and it gave me the opportunity to go up to him and introduce myself and tell him how much we appreciated his opinion and what he thought, because he didn't know. He might have known Debbie, but he wouldn't have known us peons, you know. And
and one of the idiots was saying that she stole a clip from the Sierra Sounds.
Yeah.
And all they did was stop it at the end of a whoop.
Yeah.
They didn't play the whole thing, or it would never match nothing. But they cut it. It's ridiculous.
But it was really good to be able to walk up to him and shake his hand and to thank him for that. And and of course I don't know him, but we do know David Ellis, which is the audio guy for the Olympic project. And so after David analyzed it and reviewed it, he wanted a second opinion on it. So he sent it to Ron Moorhead, and these different people that we don't know personally, validated this. And this person that did this to Debbie and Larry was supposed to have been a friend, but it just, the true colors came out. If your heart's filled with envy and jealousy of other people's successes.
Well, as I said, he's one of those people that like to step on people to get up.
Yeah.
But he ain't getting nowhere.
No.
Just like none of us are. There ain't no up.
Yeah.
And then he's got his little hyena cloud in that little chat room they got that it don't matter what you say, they're going to antagonize and nip at whatever.
Yeah.
They're just there to troll.
Yeah.
And that's his go-to spot, is to go throw crap on that little page and let them nip at it.
Yeah.
They've done more detriment to this community than they've done any help at all. And they're too egotistical and too brilliant and smart-minded to understand that they tear down more actual evidence than they'll ever validate, because they don't know the word validate. All they know is
they have never even produced any evidence.
Well, they
out
can't.
there.
They're too tied up on the computer to
go out in the woods twice a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year.
On a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
Let me not break a sweat. Oh, but that's the ugly part of this community.
Yeah.
And the good's definitely the base people of this community, for sure.
Yeah. Got to meet Charlie Raymond in person. We've had him on the show. He lives close to us. We share the same research area, and so it was really good to be able to sit there and talk to Charlie at length.
Yeah. Charlie has a genuine drive for learning and going out researching, because you see him on Facebook, he's going somewhere at least every other weekend.
Yeah.
It ain't waiting on the temperature to cool off or it's too cold, or he's out there normally. So my hat's off to anybody that's going out there and trying like they do. So those are the people that should be at a conference speaking, the ones that are getting out there doing it.
Yeah. And we don't want this to sound like we're discouraging people from going to conference, because we absolutely are not. We do enjoy them. Larry's kidding a little bit, but it is the people that are at the conferences that we enjoy talking to and spending time with. So
and if you're new to the Bigfoot community, it's a good place to go network. It's a good place to go learn basic and intermediate stuff. If you're looking for people to go out with, I know different groups are normally at these conferences. They're usually represented, and maybe the person there can't go out with you, but maybe they know somebody in your area that has a group going out that you can join a group. I would always advise going and joining some type of bigger party than just meeting somebody at a remote location. That's not a good idea nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mark didn't kill me and I didn't kill him, but still.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That was my post on our little group. That I was going to LBL, and if you're a serial killer, you weren't invited. And then nobody replied. And I said, well, hey, I guess I'm the serial killer. Here's a good question from Quick Witty. Why don't they ever have Native American speakers at any conferences?
Great question. Great question, because there are so much that we can learn from. I think about my time in New Mexico and all of the people that were there, that are Native Americans, and the different things that they were willing to share with me. And, to be able to meet people like Randy Yazzie, and Brenda, for the first time. And they're such wonderful people.
I think for the most part, there are a few Native Americans that will go and speak, but they generally keep their stories and their history and lore within their tribes normally. They normally don't go outside their tribes. So that's a big reason why you don't see a lot of them at conferences speaking. I think it's starting to transition a little bit where they're more willing to go out and talk, but it's just been their tradition to keep stuff within their tribes. So I think that's probably the biggest hurdle, but I may be totally wrong.
And Mark? There's some good books on that. Kathy Strain has written an excellent book because of her being a government agent, that she's able to come into the different tribes, and her purpose is to help the tribes. And then she's able to open that door and find out more, more about the Bigfoot subject.
Yeah. Yeah, we forgot about Barry Webster.
Yeah.
That was his comment. I just missed it because it scrolled up. But yeah, I'm sure he would. he likes to teach kind of one-on-one. He likes you to come to his area if you pan out or not. So he's open with a lot of his knowledge, but he's still a little bit secretive, but not a lot.
Yeah. Well, I know when he came on our show, I had to spend 2 hours on the phone talking to him.
Yeah.
So he was confident enough that he wasn't going to go on a podcast with a bunch of yahoos that would disrespect him.
Right. Yeah. That he's big on respect and knowing your heart is good or not good. And
yeah,
if he vets you out, he'll let you in, and if he don't vet you out, you're not going to learn nothing. I don't have any problem with that at all. I mean, that needs to be done a lot more.
And if you want to learn some things, Larry and Shelley and myself had the opportunity to interview Dan Rickey because he was accepted into the tribes in Oklahoma and told us first and second accounts of things that went on. And that's on the Sawdust Beast YouTube channel. I've got a whole category where we just went, and Dan did an excellent job. I mean, he had a PowerPoint going, and it was fantastic. And
those stories are off the hook, so they're worth going and listening to.
Yeah,
sure. Dan always says he can't tell a story, but he'll keep you sitting at a campfire to 3 a.m. listening to him. So, what else happened at the conference?
I just really spent my time absorbing with an open mind with the different speakers. And I guess I have to say that David Pilates was my favorite. And it really had to do more with the 411 part of it. But to be honest, I really haven't watched I don't watch Bigfoot stuff, really. I watch bushcraft and things like that and try to learn tricks of the trade to go out in the woods with less weight and stay longer. But I was really impressed with his presentation and what he shared, with the audience. And what's funny is Carrie kept texting me, come here, I got something for you. Come here, I got something for you. And I could feel my phone, and hear it dinging and, feeling the vibration. But I was just glued on David Pilates, and I didn't look at it till he got done speaking, and then I looked at it, and so then I walked out in the lobby, and Linda grabbed me by the arm and said, "You're not going nowhere. We've been trying to. Why don't you look at your phone?"
She got you.
She got me.
Did they have any bushcrafters at the conference?
No, they did not. I would kind of consider Ron Moorhead a bushcrafter. You look at his catalog of research going back to the early 70s.
Yeah.
And, going into an area and staying, for a long period of time. And he's gone into a lot of areas, everything from a Alaska to South America, you
Yeah.
know. And so I really enjoyed his presentation.
Yeah.
I love history, and he shared a lot of history.
What was the thing that stood out to you about David's lecture? Or
I can't think of the little boy's name that disappeared maybe in 1967 or 69, sometime in that time frame, in the Smoky Mountains. And he did a very detailed examination of the disappearance, what the father and the family went through, and how the GOV is not on your side.
are you for real?
If you're if something happens to a family member in a national park, you know, Dennis Martin, thank you, bud.
He put it up
Dennis
there.
Martin, and
So did
talk,
Donald.
you know, talked about, you know, even how they brought the Green Berets in, and no, you know, it was just amazing. If you get a chance, I would recommend looking at that video on his channel, because, you know, it had a lot to do with the area that we were in.
Yeah.
That's true, Bama. But there was another family that was, I don't know how far away, several miles away, that actually witnessed an large upright animal running through the woods with something draped over its shoulder. And he went into that. It was just a fantastic presentation. I was glued to it.
I watched the 411. I forget which part on Amazon not long ago. It was focused on hunters that disappeared. And it's unreal that they were all pretty much in the same situation. They were experienced hunters that went to the same area all the time, and they didn't show back up at the vehicle or whatever, and they would find them like miles away, and some of them in awkward positions, and some of them would leave their gun and everything where they were hunting. There's some weird stuff goes on out there. I don't know. I don't want to be caught up in it, though.
No.
Let's see. Has anybody got a question for Mark about what he ate or anything? Who else did you meet at the conference?
Oh, I had a lot of people come up to me that recognized me and just wanted to talk.
Yeah.
And
well, I gotta say this. I gotta say this real quick. Mark is almost as bad with names as I am. We can sit there and talk to you for 30 minutes, and if you introduce yourself at the beginning, by the end, we forgot your name. It ain't nothing other than just, I'm terrible with names. I'll say, I really like that guy. What was his name? And Mark would be like, oh, I can't remember. I don't know. But that happens a lot. Here's a question from Duke. That's the U.
Yeah, we're hoping in early September. I think that's what me and Duke talked about.
Man, I don't know where you get all your money.
Uh,
Jet setter.
you know that little box that you keep up in your bedroom closet? Don't look at it. Don't look in there.
Oh, man. Do you have any camping plans coming up besides Montana?
I'm really looking forward to meeting CD Squatcher, and Tex is Christine had won a giveaway for an outing at Brown Springs. And so I'm looking forward, because I've never been to Brown Springs, but you know, we've all heard the stories.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And now that I can talk about it, that Shane Carpenter asked us back in the winter, I believe, maybe a little before then, if we would be interested in coming into the 400 and being a part of that project when they go back in October. And so, you know, that's one of them bucket list things, because I've just got so much admiration for Shane and Randy and the work that they do and the accomplishments that they have had there. And to be a part of that project is a dream come true, really.
I agree with that. I mean, that's about the cream of the crop. Hosier's got a. Are you going to hammock camp in Brown Springs?
I don't know. Texas supplying.
Don't say Texas. Say
I said Tex is supplying.
Texas is a great state.
You better not say nothing bad about Texas.
I can't. I like it.
Get a skillet upside the head.
Mm-hmm.
But he's supplying everything, so I don't know, but I mean, if they got two trees close together, then I'll hammock camp. I've hammock camped in some creepy places, and so is Larry Porch.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny if you're inside of a tent, man. You kind of get that fake feeling of being secured in there. But you just about take your fingernails if you had to and scrape your way out of a tent.
Yeah. Yeah, that tent ain't gonna help you no more than a hammock will. But I don't know. I miss all of it, but I got too fat and my knees and hip hurt so much. I don't know if I can make it no more.
Well, for me, if you have not slept in a hammock, for me personally, it's some of the most relaxing, comfortable sleep that I will get, because the hammock shapes to your body. Yeah. And as long as you get your feet a little higher up than your head, then it's just awesome camping.
Have you seen that one you can make into a chair or you lay flat? I thought about getting that thing. It ain't that high.
I actually watched.
I like the Clark, but
yeah. The that really, that Clark is such an awesome hammock. And Cam Butner gave me and Larry these Clarks, and they're not even in business anymore.
That's because they gave them hammocks away.
And they were like, what, six for the basic hammock? It was like $600, and you think, oh, that's outrageous. Yeah. But we have slept in them in below freezing weather and not shivered in them. Yeah, stay warm in them.
They're nice. I don't know why they went out of business. Well, it's probably the price, but they're worth it, no doubt. Did you see what Gary Spike said?
No, I didn't.
He said to make sure your hammock's high enough because of the hogs at Brown Springs. You don't want no hog nudging on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. They'd rip you apart. And I thought about that when I was down in Falk.
When's your Honey Island expedition?
I'm not sure. I'm going to let you and Debbie put that together.
Thanks a lot. I always put it on me. I'm tired of planning stuff.
You would have done the same to me.
Mark Ledford says, this is for Mark. If Bigfoot wanted to have you for lunch, would he have to settle for frozen food like petrified human steak? LOL.
Not in a Clark hammock. You'd be fresh meat in there. Toasty.
It'd be like one of them nice burritos from the Quick Mart.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have something coming up at some point. I can't remember where or when.
Yeah, that was one thing that we talked to Shane about. They have a lot of success in the heat of the summer. But that's kind of when me and Larry slack off a little bit because
because of the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But, really, October through early summer, I mean, that's when we get out.
Yeah. What's Wonder Woman talking about? Like peeling a nanner out of the hammock?
She's talking about like a human burrito.
Oh, that's good. I thought, never mind.
You ain't made supper yet, have you?
We ain't gonna go there. So, what was the highlight of the? Wait a second. We'll field this one. Bob really wants to know what motivates you guys, a personal up-close sighting or more?
Everybody has their own reasons for getting out in the woods and finding these creatures. And there's no wrong answer, whatever it is. If you're looking to prove it to the world, if you're looking to capture it and get that $1 million video or whatever. But my personal thing is I am an adrenaline junkie. And when activity starts ramping up around me, that's what drives me.
That's it.
That's pretty much it, Larry. That's why I go out there it's a feeling of accomplishment. If you have done your homework, if you have if you're going, let's say you're going into a new area and you study the topographical maps and you say, this looks like a good spot. And this is what we do. We go and we put pins on different areas.
Now we're podcast stars.
and we go and we start looking for any type of sign or whatever. But that's a feeling of accomplishment when you can go into a area that you've never been and you start having activity around you.
I agree. Basically, in a nutshell, for me, it's a personal sighting, personal search for the truth of what they are, and it's for me. Yeah. I just happen to like to come on here and blabber about what happened or didn't happen, I guess. All right, JC, did you learn anything brand new to you at the convention?
What I took away, what brand new, was the different facts that David Pilates talked about. And that was one thing, because that dude is fact based on anything. And really, we need to be more like that in this community. And that's something that we have strived from the beginning with our Facebook page, our channel, even before the podcast, is don't take fact A and fact B and then fill in the blank in between them with your own personal opinion. Keep your personal opinion and theories to yourself. If you've got personal opinions and theories, then it's your job to go out and prove your hypothesis.
I agree. Night Wolf wants to know, do you believe that Bigfoot are really that smart?
I do.
I do too. I think they're smarter than me, or I'd already found one. Big Rob, Sawdust, what was the best story you heard at the conference?
I guess it would be Ron Moorhead talking about in the middle to late 70s of a place that they went to in, I don't know if it was, I think it was in Oregon. And he went through what happened to them there, and the evidence that they found, the activity, the visuals, and how they would keep going back to this area and just always having success there. And that would probably be the best.
All right. David Blanglight wants to know if you have any new merchandise coming. You ain't even thought about it.
We are sitting on
a gold mine.
Where's my pick at? We have we had hired an artist to do pictures for our t-shirts and stuff like that. And we do have another one that we haven't released. And so maybe a little before Thanksgiving, we might release it, in case that you would like to purchase a new design on a t-shirt to maybe give away for a Christmas present.
It sounds good. Night Wolf asks, with all the sightings, why no new Bigfoot evidence on film? Are they that smart to stay hidden? Well,
there's some good stuff out there. Now, a lot of stuff can be because of these scumbags that want to say that everything is a hoax, like what you and Debbie were charged with. And so because of the ridicule that is out there and the unlawful attacks towards people, they don't want to release something. And I know that, I don't know if you saw the picture when we were with Kumbo and one of our friends showed us that picture, and but he had showed us in North Carolina, and that was one of the most amazing, probably the best picture that I've ever seen. And there's no telling how many pictures or videos are like that that's out there, but people say that I don't want it released to the public.
Yeah. You hear people talk about how game cameras don't work, but I've heard of several game camera pictures and videos that people just won't let out because they don't want to get ridiculed, chastised, and all that. So they just don't let them out. They'll show a few people that they trust, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's understandable.
Yeah.
Because the first thing somebody's going to do is they're going to go back and they're going to look at every little aspect of it. And if one muscle on his leg don't twitch the right way, then it's fake.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
Yeah. And
like they know.
And, you know, pictures do not do justice. I remember that day in Titanium Swamp that me, you, and Shelley were there doing an investigation, and Shelley found that butt print.
Yeah.
And that was just simply an amazing print. And she took pictures from different angles and we shot video of it, but none of those look good. And, but down in the holler a little bit, where there was running water, you know, we found baby prints right down there. So, you know, and that you kind of come to the conclusion that Mama was just kind of sitting up there on the bank, you know, and watching the baby play.
Yep. Oh, let's see this. And then it's bedtime. Night. It's a pretty good statement from JC. If there is good quality evidence, it's hidden in the signal to noise ratio of hoaxes and misidentifications. Sad situation.
Very true, JC.
I mean, in a community that's full of pareidolia pictures and blob squatch and shadow pictures and this and that, I mean, if you get a clear picture nowadays, automatically everybody says, well, that's fake because all everybody else is getting is this picture. You can't tell what it is because of the pixelation in it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, I've said it 100 times. Being in the Bigfoot community with legitimate evidence is like being in a butt kicking circle because somebody's going to kick you in the butt and you're going to turn around to address them. And somebody else going to kick you in the butt the other way.
Yeah.
You just can't win.
Yeah.
And it makes people with good evidence not want to put it out. I mean, Debbie, I had to talk her into releasing that audio. She had it for 2 years or more, and then she got lambasted for it. I mean, she's a group member of the Sisters of the Moon, but they go after her.
Yeah.
Whenever 2 or 3 of the other sisters knew what was going on and corroborated the story up to the point that the heat started coming on, then all of a sudden they didn't remember nothing and didn't see nothing run away from the tent and this and that. So what can you do? People, it's just a pathetic situation with a bunch of pathetic people.
And that's why they're not sisters no more.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Mark, can we see that picture, please? The answer is no.
No. And it is because, and I'm not even going to say the person's name.
I'm not either.
That is in possession of this picture. But for us personally, integrity means a lot. And if somebody shows you something off the record and says you can talk about it, but I'm not going to share it and I don't want it shared. And
plus, we don't have the picture anyway, and we wouldn't share it.
Yeah, if we did have it.
Yeah, if somebody sends something and says don't share it, you can look at it, but don't share it. It's not getting shared. I don't care if it beats the Patterson-Gimlin film 100-1.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of those pictures, a lot of audio, a lot of video, and they're kept private on a separate hard drive in a separate folder and
in a secret lockbox in Knoxville.
Yeah. I just realized what you were saying.
I knew you'd get it sooner. But anyway. All right, Mark Ledford. Were there any Bigfoot groups from the state of Maine and international groups at the conference?
Not that I talked to. I don't believe so. There were a lot from out west. But and up north, there were some, but I don't believe as far as up from Maine.
Yeah. All right. Well, people are asking questions now. I didn't mean to land-based Sisters of the Moon. It was just a situation, and those people know.
Yeah.
There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly.
Well, go back and watch the beginning of this podcast, and I explained it a little bit on there.
Bob asks, have either of you had strange dreams, not trying to say woo, after you've had activity in the field?
Tell them yours, Larry.
As a matter of fact, there's been a couple of times while I was in the field on the camping trip that I did have dreams. One, it was Debbie and I in Arkansas, and I dreamed that I heard something walk up to the tent that sounded bipedal, and I woke up and I was elbowing Debbie, and I could see something pushing in on the tent like a hand, and it was going down toward my face. And I don't know if I passed out, if I was asleep, the dream ended. It felt real. And I told Debbie about it the next morning. I said, was I elbowing you last night? And she's like, not that I remember. I didn't wake up if you did. And I told her the same thing. And we went out and looked, and where it would have been, out of all the places, there were leaves stuck to the tarp that we had up at that point where it would have had to step to push down, but that could have been coincidence. I don't know. And there was another time that Matthias Kane, Mark, I think Spencer, and I think Lauren maybe. I don't know. But I dreamed that something come into camp, a Bigfoot come into camp, and I saw it, and it milled around and left, and it felt real, but I'm 99% sure I was dreaming. So,
but at the same time, Matthias felt it, heard it, whatever, and tried to get a picture of it.
yeah,
So you wasn't the only one.
right. So I don't know. I mean, it's weird, but yeah, I've had some pretty realistic dreams about them while I was out there looking for them. All right. David, Larry, do you like your new home? I do. So far, I've not been shot and not been robbed, so it's been great. But no, the house is fine. It's better than my last one, so it's in a good location. I'm about a mile from a lake that I can go fishing at if it ever gets under 90 degrees again. But the air conditioner works great, and that's the main thing. Oh, have you guys seen the new pictures from the Fall Creek Falls sighting this past week? I got a feeling that's the same 3 photos that have been found at Somerset and Oklahoma, and the sheriff department's investigating and this and that. If it's the same 3, those are fake. They were brought out back in 2013, I think, and it's the same 3 pictures that they're sticking a different story to in every state. And so I would figure that's what it is without seeing them. All right. It's bedtime, Mark. You got anything you want to wrap up about the conference?
No, just that it was a great conference. I appreciate everyone that came up and talked to me, and it was great to be able to spend time with people that I haven't met yet that came there, and it was a good time. I would suggest if you have a conference that comes close to your area and you want to go, you go and you enjoy yourself. And because the people that attend the conferences, they're fantastic people.
Yeah.
And to be able to sit around with people that you don't even know and strike up conversations that are of the same like-mindedness that you are, it's fantastic.
Even I'm going to tell you to go to a conference because it is great to meet other people that are like-minded, has had experiences, and there are some great speakers at these conferences, and you'll have a good time. So if you enjoy meeting people, being out there, learning new stuff, and networking a little bit, they're great places to go. I'm a anti-crowd person. I like the woods, so that's my biggest hang up with it. I mean, Debbie can't even get me to go to Walmart hardly, so what can you do? But if you get a chance to go and you enjoy that type thing, by all means go. They always got cool merchandise. You get to meet people on podcasts like Mark Nebel and Cam Buckner, Carrie Arnold. I mean, there's always going to be somebody there that you know from YouTube or TV or something. So it's pretty cool to go meet those people. And 95% of them are genuinely good people.
Yeah.
So go out and have fun with it.
And take a kid with you. Take a kid with you, and let's plant that seed in these youngsters because they're our future.
Yeah, that's true. All right, folks, I hope y'all have a good night. Thanks for joining us, and have a great week. And we will see y'all Thursday night for, can you pronounce the name?
No, I hadn't even gotten to. I'm so backed up on PMs and emails and hadn't even hit the first lick of a snake at Thursday show.
That's what happens when you're a rock star. Good night, everybody.
All right. Night, footers.